We lost the master copies, so fuck it, we doing this now!
Let me tell you a story.
I know it's hard to play the cards you dealt face down. Remain the cause with no pain, remorse to face restart. And I pray you find the ones you trust who will stay down, 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 down. Yeah.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings, hip-hop fans. Greetings, country fans. Greetings, every single musophile across the globe. My name is V. Welcome back to Music Perspective, where we try to find similarities between different artists of various genres. Today, I was gonna be having a bunch of other stuff happening, but, we lost the master copies, and I don't know where they went, so I now have to do everything from scratch. That's going to be hilarious. But in all seriousness, me doing this re-recording for you guys about a very big episode for myself in 3 parts means that I'm going to be diving into stuff I couldn't really dive into from the original recording sessions that I did, because I feel like I didn't give enough intel I wanted to give for each artist I'm covering on each bracket. So let's first dive into the hip-hop side of stuff and see what we can get from the up-and-coming heads to be goats of rap. Wait, did that even make sense, bro? Just do the jump cut.
King, you know the one that y'all pretend to be. I'm not a guy, but the most high is what they'll consider me. Get it twisted, I roll up. Hold you, homie, no twisted sweet. Won't beef, we bringing it to your door, but this ain't Uber Eats.
On the subject of King Blitz, originally when I dived into this artist, I was kind of just like, oh, it's just gonna be Slick Rick mixed with a little bit of some, Tupac, to just be that sort of small edge, nothing really to speak of other than he's just gonna be a storyteller mixed with a little bit of some hood energy. Nothing really substantial. Just from how he was presented during the YouTube cypher that Crip did. But it's just, away from that one cypher, when I started diving into his library, is when I got to see Blitz for who he truly is. And he is a storyteller, but he's more or less a preacher and a storyteller at the same time. Now, when I say preacher, y'all are probably just thinking to yourselves, man, this seems like your boy's gonna talk about Oswin Benjamin. Nah, not that kind of preacher. No. There are various different classifications of what a preacher is, and some of them aren't really religious preachers. Some of them are about, of course, civil rights, or about social justice, or just anything involving doing what's right for one's people. A lot of people that act reverend-like don't have to be from the cloth or from the Christian camps. People can preach and spread their own gospel about truths without religion. That whole diatribe aside, that's basically what I feel when I listen to Blitz. He has a message that he wants to talk about, messages that he wants to display to the world where everything feels like it's a message that can't be ignored. Every single punchline, every single double entendre, every single rhyme scheme, it feels like it's not only a whole entire preacher method about what it is he's trying to share as his own message, but also something to get into your ear about someone that is honestly knocking at your jaw, and you can't ignore the hits. You can't ignore every single punch because they're too potent. They're too impactful because of how he's presenting his whole entire demeanor and his dichotomy. He can give it to you about something that is deep and personal, like about his kids or about his environment, how his background has shaped him. Or he could do it where it's a giant flex about his own abilities as a rapper, as a poet, as a whatever means just speaks to him. That's his whole nom de guerre. He's a preacher, storyteller. That's his whole entire lane, and he owns it so well that he can give it to you guys in a very street-like manner, but you'll still take it as if it's a lesson being presented to you by a teacher, by a full-blown professor, and I respect that. A lot of his tracks that I really do enjoy, I bump this shit all the time when I'm editing. Like, I shit you not, every time I'm bumping Blitz, I'm just like, Kingdom fronts everything down for me. Dead guys, more apology, no apologies. I almost misread that. Something else, strings, inch. Like, bruh, everything about what this man just spits, I'm automatically a fan of now. Like, I'm not gonna be saying he doesn't have any hits that I don't like. Like, there might be some older stuff I'm not gonna like, because not a lot of artists start off strong. And certain new stuff isn't really that potent. Wait until I get into that 6 seconds editorial that's been in the works for so many years now. And at the end of the day, I'm still going to be a big fan because the man puts more of himself into his music than a lot of artists I could talk about. And I respect him for it in a lot of ways that I never thought possible. So Blitz, if you ever watching this video, dog, all I'm going to say is keep doing what you doing, bruh. You're an amazing rhythm and poetry artist. You're an amazing storyteller. You're an amazing wordsmith. And I can't wait to see you do a lot more, man. Sincerely, bruh.
You gotta want more. Ain't nothing in this life coming easy. Hard to think about myself when people need me. How they represent my culture in the TV. We gotta want more.
I'm hotter than the earth if we don't change our ways. Killing me is as possible as living off minimum wage. I could do conscious chess like the difference between sex and a rape, or I could go do trap like innocent blacks and must live in a cage.
I don't even know how to really start this, but let's go with it. School with it all, school with it, yeah, bruh. This is just, I don't even know how to describe this. Like, Samad Savage, for me, came out of left field under a lot of different things with music, whether it was the Poppin' Challenge, the Flick It Up Remix Challenge, just a lot of different places this man popped up I did not expect, and afterwards, here I am doing big fucking deep dives left and right of this man's catalog to where his older stuff hits hard, his newer stuff hits hard, and I had to sit down for a while. Even during the original recording, I had to sit down for a while and I was like, why is this hitting so hard for me? Why the hell is this track hitting so prevalently for me? Why the hell is this album he produced hitting so hard for me? I had to really sit down and wonder why a lot of his catalog of music really spoke out. And now that I'm sitting here months later, I'm just still thinking to myself, this is someone that, like Denzel Curry when it came to his XXL stuff, I feel like Samad came up in the wrong generation. Now, follow me on this, guys. Samad can produce, he can sing, he can rap. I think he also helps direct a lot of his music videos. If I'm wrong, Samad, and you watching this, you let me know in the comments, bro. I don't want to get you wrong in any regards, bro. I respect you too much. But homie does all this stuff as a Renaissance man. I assume happily married, because last time I heard he was engaged, and that was during COVID years. He might have gotten married already. Again, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, bruh. But all I'm thinking to myself is, this is one of the few Renaissance men in hip-hop that should have come out during the time where originality spoke out more. Like, this is someone I could have seen being huge and highly prevalent during the earlier days when hip-hop was starting to get better in the mainstream during, I would say, the early 2000s, to where it had a bigger upreach of a larger category of featured artists, to then be even greater, because when he starts there instead of here, he'll have a lot more at his disposal. He'll have a lot more training, a lot more tools of the trade, a lot more connections. And I feel like that's a big problem when you have an artist that, although is great where they are, if they were to be probably born at a different period, to start at a different point, I feel like they would have been able to blow up a lot faster because the disadvantage of being where they are now. And I know that sounds like an insult, but it really isn't. That's just me stating that this man could have done so much better if he was in an earlier generation, because he's already killing the game now. But imagine him assassinating it if he was around earlier. And I feel like people are going to take this out of context and say I feel like this man. I really hate the internet sometimes, just flipping facts around for their own. Let's just get the next artist, bro. I'm already pissed.
I'm over it. I'll be just fine. Got to get mine. Can't like her.
Clapped them in the alley, mama. Clapped, I got my cap and gown. Could've been me too, but I chose class before I trapped around. Regardless of my stature, TSA pre-check gon' pat me down.
Okay. I had to talk about Chris Patrick. No, seriously, how do you talk about Chris Patrick when everyone else is just already stating the obvious? Man's on the high rise after just seemingly coming out of nowhere and just assassinating the game left and right in his own way, the same way King Blitz is doing it on his own pathways and Samad Savage is doing on his own end of things. Like, the way you kind of view it is... Each artist I'm talking about now is already self-explanatory, and Chris Patrick is no different. Homie, for me, when I've discovered him, was just a breath of fresh air during the Pokemon Cypher in 2019. But the way I see it, Chris carries himself like he's already a veteran, already out the gate. Because he carries that swagger of Jid mixed with Andre 3 Stacks. Like, he's so calm and cool collected with how he does each track, even when he gets emotional. But it feels like he has that calm wave like he's water. He's the epitome of Jeet Kune Do in rap. That's a hard feat to do where you're so calm, cool, collected behind the microphone that you're just so nice with it that you don't even care about the competition. You're just so wavy with it that the whole competition bends to you. That's a talent and a skill in and of itself. I've never seen an artist do this in the modern age of underground hip-hop, in independent hip-hop, or frankly modern hip-hop since Outkast. God damn. I think the closest I've seen it though is JID, but not to the extent that Chris is doing. Like, there are artists that are this wavy in their own way, but there's a special method that Chris does with each track that he tends to do, where even if he's a featured artist or if he's just doing a cover, homie is going in like no one's fucking business. And frankly, if I keep going on and on like this, I'll never get to the final wrap-ups where I can talk about everyone's tracks, because I already know people are about to be like, you only talk about King Blitz's tracks, what about Smod and Chris Patrick's? Hold up and wait till I can get to the next part. Damn!
I'm stuck in a desert where nothing has grown. Assumptions are something I hate to have. What if my lack of work is why I struck out on this vacant path? I started in the basement, elevated to amazing as my peers follow behind like I was.
I love this segment of the show because this allows me to actually sit down and talk to you guys about what makes each artist similar regardless of genre, how they operate, how they move in business, and so forth and so on. But since this is a three-parter, and this is obviously me just talking about the rap side of stuff of the future rap sultans / goats in training, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. There are numerous rappers I could have talked about in this episode. Quadeca, Crypt, Dax, Screw, Blind, Knox Hill, Grizzy, Gatsby, Dwayne TV, Shofu, Token Black, Tanukas, Shofu to Beat Down. Like, there's so many artists that are goats in training that I could talk about, whether you agree or disagree with how they operate withstanding. But the way I view it is these are three individuals that not only can keep a core balance about how they operate and a smooth tendency, but also in one that feels extra smooth and clean. Like, King Blitz, how I described him, is definitely someone that you can sit down to and appreciate in a methodology that's kind of like, I would say early Jay-Z, Big Boy, and Tupac, along with maybe some Slick Rick. Like, certain songs from Slick Rick, if y'all get what I mean. You sit down with him, He's an amazing storyteller. He preaches what he preaches, walks his walk, talks his talk. Homeboy does not stray from how he delivers the message in any song that he does. Whether it's the ciphers, whether it's the featured bits, whether it's his own music videos, or even when he's breaking down stuff when he's doing reactions. Homie gives it to you 100% of the time straight up, as if he is going to talk to you like you are a homie. And that is something that is very prevalent and very respectful. There's no doubt about it. Then we go over to Samad Savage, the modern day Renaissance man. And his discography is massive. Whether it's Good and Evil, the Oh My God songs, the real Samad Savage, Watch Out, and so many other tracks that I didn't even bring up, like from the Dual Liddy album that dropped I don't know how many months ago now. Whether it's also him doing covers and shit like that, the man does not stop. Even during featured stuff like the back-to-back features he's done for Knox Hill or his High Kanye West, the boy doesn't stop. The boy doesn't quit, bruh. And with it, he carries that methodology of a man on a mission to not only bring the best in his abilities, but to bring out the best in his competition. That is something that's sadly lacking nowadays because everyone wants to be word of mouth beef, but never about that actual action type beef, where people will actually get in a boxing ring or be out in the streets actually duking it out sort of stuff. And with it carries also that gravity of someone that knows how they want to operate the rest of their lives in this game, but also willing to bend to make themselves grow as a person. And that's respectful in a lot of ways not a lot of people get. And then we get Chris Patrick. Homeboy literally is water incarnate. He burst in the game, veteran status already. Whether he acts like he's nervous or not is up for debate. But how he carries himself, you wouldn't tell. You couldn't tell this man just either recently started in the last few years or has been in the game for decades. Homeboy just literally bursted in and has made a lot of waves. I mean, his current tracks that I've been listening to off and on, like Dreams, Gang Activity, his freestyle of Internal, or Swish, or even just his own covers of like Sacrifices and Clutter. Homeboy is out here. He is living his best life. He is eating his finest meal. I can't hate on that. I can't hate on or disrespect it because he's earned his spot at his own table. He literally took his own chair with Samad and Blitz, went to their own unique tables, slammed the chair down, and made it so impactful for all three of them that they didn't even ask for the attention. The attention was just given because it was well-deserved and earned. That's why I wanted to cover these three artists the most, because out of a lot of people I could cover, these three epitomize what it means to actually take a strong stance about what it entails to truly be an artist in hip-hop today. We have to literally pick your own self from your bootstraps, walk that fine line about what it means to be mainstream and indie, whether you can respect your decisions or go about different changes to see what you can do and not do, and come out on top working that fine line into everything and not losing a thing so far. Whether or not they can keep up that whole mentality is up for debate because we don't know what the future holds for these artists. But I'm still going to be a fan, I'm still going to be championing them, and I still want to see them succeed more often than not. Unless they pull out a garbage track, then I'm going to be literally just making a video saying this shit was garbage. You gotta get back to your roots and figure out what went wrong, bro.
Coming up next,